thing is, Jay. I'm sorry, Billy or whatever. What's the name this week? You were Billy Diamond last week. You were JD 2 weeks before. At this point, you'll be common YouTuber from Belgium the week after that. Then there'll just be a picture of you. Then there'll just be a wall. Who are we this week? Who are we? Just Billy? We've killed the diamond. No more no gemstones for you.
Yeah, that's okay. I will just work with the Billy at this point, and just from letting people get familiar with it, and then eventually I will upgrade the additional names. I need at least 3-4 names to add on it.
3-4 names.
Yes, in Africa we have to have like 3-4 names.
In Africa.
Yes.
In Africa.
Yes.
So
in Nigeria, I need in not Africa. In Nigeria, I need 3-4 names. So I'm just working on all the 4 names, to put together.
No, you're just you're not even waiting for immigration. You're just jumping over and saying, I'm moving. Yes. I'm wearing it. It is fine. Where do we even start with this week? Where do we even start? I mean, I want to start with talking about which players or which teams have the most. Excuse me. I'm fighting the hiccups, guys. It's going to be the whole thing. So it'll be a vibe in one way or the other. But we want to talk about it today. We have the October window that is upon us. We have a lot of squads that have been dropped. We know that the Jamaican squad was just dropped a few seconds ago, or minutes ago, and people have their opinions on that. I'm sure it'll come up at some point, and we'll cover that here. But we're talking about, because you have Nations League and CONCACAF, you have AFCON qualifiers in Africa. Which team or even player is under the most pressure this window to perform for their squad? And that's the question I have for Billy and my hiccups. I do apologize. We're going to workshop our way through this, but that is how it is. So make sure you guys leave a comment, like, subscribe, all the fun things. Let us know in the comments below how it is. But we had a good week of football this week, though.
Yeah, very good week of football. This new format of Champions League, it definitely helps. I saw a lot of people performing. I saw Lookman doing his thing. Osimhen started off good in Galatasaray as well. Boniface doing well for Nigeria. So I saw Jonathan David doing his thing, Mikel Antonio doing his thing, Ethan Pinnock doing his thing, Dishant Bernard doing his thing. So a lot of players. I can't really complain. I can't really complain as to what I saw for their clubs. But as me and the club's thing is not the same thing when it goes on to country. For some reason, some of these guys look like they can't even kick a football when they reach their countries. So I have to just say that I hope the forms can come over, regardless of the systems that they're playing in, because that's how I have to look at it. The best way to phrase it is that way,
And I think that's fair. I mean, you see that on a lot of different squads, right? Some squads, some players are national team players only. Like you look at a player like a Gareth Bale is a prime example where they say for club, where is he? Or James Rodriguez for club, where are they? But when they put on the national team colors, they are flying and they are performing. And so it makes it interesting, especially when we get into, this round of the window, because in CAF, AFCON, you're getting to those match day 3 and 4. And what that does now, that opens up the conversation for you really get a clear picture of who's going to make next year's AFCON championships. And then in CONCACAF, you're at your last 2 days for Nations League. So you're really going to see a form who's moving through, who's going to look what way, and who's going to look another way. So it is a lot to take in, and I'm very curious to, to see how it looks. I did want to kind of mention of where we are with CONCACAF in terms of where we're sitting. As we did get a ranking drop that happened for CONCACAF points, kind of dropped a little bit under the radar because we had Champions League, we have roster drops, but just to pull this onto the screen so we kind of have an idea here where everyone is and where the situation is as of the 30th of September. The top 14, in terms of CONCACAF rankings are Mexico, Canada, the United States, and Panama, which are the 4 teams which are sitting out. But we are seeing it kind of where it is, where you have Mexico, there, those four. In fifth place, you have Costa Rica. Costa Rica. Sixth place, you have Jamaica. Haiti, seventh. Honduras, eighth. And then Guatemala and Trinidad and Tobago to round out the top 10.
Top 10, yeah.
Is there anything that surprises you with that? Are you kind of, is that kind of how you had those teams ranked walking into this?
Aside from 80, but 80 can't be a surprise because they were very good, even in the last year Nations League, just because they met Jamaica twice. Thought they were very much unlucky on the first time not to win the game, maybe 6-2 or 6-3, or but being clear up before Jamaica had some good spells in it. So and then they went on to play some good games. They drew with Suriname and then they lost to Jamaica, so that definitely affected them. So I would say that I would say that it's in the perfect order. Panama defeated Costa Rica a lot of times. So for Costa Rica, they are playing good. They have two good tournaments back to back. So they are rising, but at the same time, I don't think they did enough to surpass the three times that Panama defeated them. And Panama had good results themselves because they performed in the Copa as well. So we can't say they should surpass them as yet. They are not so far in terms of points, yes, but I think that it's in the best order. Sixth place for Jamaica is pretty much fair at this point.
I'm actually a little bit surprised. I didn't think, maybe just the Canadian
The
aspect of me. I didn't expect to see them at number 2.
I didn't look at the top. I didn't actually look at the top. I'm very sorry. You're right. Continue. I will talk on that. Yeah.
No, and I think for me, I think they are a well-performing squad right now. They're probably the most informed team in the region right now. And just sometimes when you see, it's like, oh, the ranking matches the the ranking matches the performance. So it's kind of confirming that bias that you have. It's like, okay, they're playing well according to the points. They're doing that as well. So I'm like, oh, interesting. I am a little bit surprised, but Mexico has had some results. So I am not surprised that they are still at number 1. I think there was still enough gap to move. But seeing the U.S. fall from where they were second all the way down to third, really they're just behind Canada, which about levels it out. But that is a surprise. But then it speaks to how that team is playing right now. I know we talked about the bottom half of that 10, but those top 4 teams, right? Mexico, Canada, United States, Panama. How do you feel about them this coming window? The U.S. has Mexico and Panama, and then Panama has USA and Canada. And then Mexico has USA and someone else, and Canada just has Panama and an open training site. Is there much to learn, you think, from how those 4 teams will kind of look as they are preparing going through this window?
All right, so United States, they are just they're gonna restart. So not restart, but they're gonna go under a new regime. We don't know which part they're gonna pick up from Berhalter, but they're gonna pick up from somewhere because they can't really fully restart. And their team is the best team in CONCACAF, regardless of how we want to look at it. Yes, I know that you'll have teams and players overhype to the next dimension, but the United States is the best team quality-wise in the CONCACAF, and it's not close, to be honest. It's not close at all. So I am expecting to see instant kickoff, just like Canada. Just like when Canada took over and I saw the first game, I'm saying, damn, this is not real. How can this man get this team over one game? And you saw the first 1 to 60 minutes, they are competing with top teams over the world. And that's why I said, Africans, you have something well here coming in. You have something surprising, but typical you're saying that I'm overhyping the team, and then it turns out that I was perfectly right because they went to cope and prove what I was saying. Because they try to stay at a high level, make themselves difficult to beat, and they have a goal scorer on their pitch that is not. I think he's actually the best player, not the best striker in CONCACAF. Maybe the best player. You could go to other people, but the best striker in CONCACAF. So, all of that said, I think that United States will follow the same step as Canada because both of those coaches are similar coaches. They want extra work from their players, and United States' main problem was a lot of players never respected the coach. Now you have a top star coach that is almost bigger than all of them, and that's important, you know. When you don't respect the coach, you can do whatever you want, but now you know that you have a coach that is bigger than you. So if you don't do what you want, do what he wants, you're gonna come off the pitch. I thought that the coach that Canada got, he's higher than Erdman, like in ratings and respect and popularity. So people know that if he says, David, you're not doing enough, you're going to go on the bench, you're going to have to go on the bench, and you're not going to come off because the country can't turn on the coach to put you back on the pitch. So that's important. So I think United States will run back up the table and do exactly what they were doing before, but with different style now, a style that can transfer to a better level.
And I think that's fair. I mean, we didn't mention my big thing with the U.S. side is it's not necessarily, the coach, but those leaders on the team, right? Arguably, Christian Pulisic is probably the most informed player in CONCACAF right now, but he's wearing that armband. And like your other leaders on the team are maybe injured or aren't there. He needs to set the tone and say, if we're going to follow this is what we have to do. This is how we have to kind of work through and kind of make our way through that way. Because if not, the players were fans of the previous coach. I mean, it's documented, it's there. But I think, as you said, when you bring a bigger profile player or bigger profile coach, the standard, you either meet the standard or you're meeting the reading the list like everyone else is, right? You either meet what the coach wants you to do or you'll be reading to say who made the team. So I think it is important for them to buy in that way. And I'm kind of intrigued to see what they're able to do. I don't know if they're going to be able to get off the ground, running, say like Canada did. I think Marsh's system was very, quote unquote, I think he'd be more simpler because he's a very direct, in terms of the coach and the style that he plays. Pochettino, though, I feel is more pragmatic, than, say, Marsh is. He still has a system, but he's trying to play that 4-3-3, that 4-2-3-1. But I still think he'll look to kind of put his players in the best situation to succeed versus, say, a Marsh where he'll say, this is my system, this is what we're going to play, and we'll kind of move it and go from there. So I'm curious to see what they will kind of look at, what they look for. But yeah, they have the opportunity to kind of move back in a way and look well. Excuse me again for the hiccups that we have here. So when we're talking about CONCACAF Nations League, these are the standings as they sat, before we jumped out. In Group A, you had Costa Rica and Guatemala sitting in the top two spots, with Suriname, Guadeloupe next two spots, and then Guyana and Martinique. And then Jamaica, Nicaragua in the first two spots, Honduras in the third spot, Cuba, and then French Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the question that is on here, and don't worry, we'll get to the comments as they're coming through. The question of those teams, and I think we'll just stick with the top four of each group versus the top six, because it'd be chaotic. It's not impossible, but it would be very much chaotic for it to go through. Of those top four teams, let's start with Group A. Is there a team in those top four that you feel is under the most pressure to really perform this round? Outside of, so you have Guatemala, Costa Rica, Suriname, and then Guadeloupe. Of those four sides, which one do you feel has the most pressure to perform and make it to
Um,
that quarterfinal stage of the
all,
Nations League?
all right, perform, but and also make it to the quarterfinal stage. A
They're
little bit
two
of
different
stretch.
questions, but I'm combining them for
I
yours.
would say Suriname needs to perform in the Costa Rica game because that's the last true chance they have to go through. They are not, I think they're going to defeat Guyana again, but that would just give them 6 points, and 6 points wouldn't be good enough to clear. They would be staying up, but not good enough to challenge for top spot. I think a draw against Costa Rica with a good display or a win at home and then go and defeat Guyana would put them back out there and put them on my map, because that would be the statement win that they're looking for. They have been looking for a statement win. They got a draw against Haiti. They got a draw against Jamaica. They had a very good display against Mexico. So they are getting good results and good performances, but they need to mix it with a win. All right. So a draw against Costa Rica, I would be satisfied. So it can continue that trend of getting statement draws against all the bigger teams, them, and then you keep on gradually improving. So I would say Suriname would be the one that has to deliver in this window. In League A.
And that's a fair answer. I will go against, like, I do agree with what you're saying. I will, though, push and say Guatemala for me.
Guatemala,
They
okay.
have the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to. I mean, the last Gold Cup, it was a Guatemala show for me, right? They had a run. I guess they eventually lost to Jamaica. What was in the quarterfinals of the Gold
Yeah,
Cup?
yeah, quarterfinals,
Yeah.
because they went to Jamaica did go to the semifinals
Mhm.
and played Mexico, and then Mexico beat Jamaica very fast in the game.
Yeah. So, like, for me, Guatemala is in that trajectory where they're building, right? They weren't a side that we were maybe expecting to come through and do much, or we thought they could have qualified for the World Cup. But looking at what they did at the Gold Cup and how they're building now, they are like not the same type of a profile team, but to me, they're like an El Salvador type side where you see the quality, you see what they're trying to move forward to, and you see the potential of it. And now the question becomes, can they now build and take that next step moving forward? So for me, Guatemala, they're not necessarily under the most pressure, but they're a team that I think should perform and should be able to stay in their top two spot, moving on to the quarterfinals of the Nations League and CONCACAF. So we're picking Suriname for fair and valid reasons. I'm choosing Guatemala just because I like what they were building in the Gold Cup, and they've been able to kind of maintain that level of form. Now I want
Yes,
to
yes.
see them.
But the problem is, remember that Guatemala actually they have Guyana and Costa Rica.
Mhm,
So they have Guyana first, and then they're going to come back to play Costa Rica. So
mhm.
they are sharing the same spots. Bless up, Dr. Hero. And Jevan, I will do more work to know what the player is. Jamaica problems are too much for me. But this is just a skim over the top of all teams. Yes, I can't really go into Jamaica analysis. You have a lot of new analysts in the chat, Jevan, a lot of new channels. They act like they know everything. So I think they would have the answer for that already. So yeah, man, you can just check out those channels. I think they will be in the Jamaica category, so you can get the answer for that.
But so we'll get to that. So for me, Guatemala, it's about building and continuing their building. Same way that how that was for Suriname and what they could possibly be. So those would be for mine, and then for Group B. Actually, before we go no, let's go to Group B first, and then we'll talk about those groups and the matchups coming up. Nicaragua, Jamaica, Honduras, Cuba. Of those four teams, which team do you feel is under the most pressure there?
In Group B. All right. When I look at it, when I really break down everything, because I went back and watched these games. I would say that the team that is under the most pressure, is actually Honduras. And you know what I'm going to say? I saw the Jamaica Rasta. I don't think the Jamaica Rasta is far better than Honduras team, if at better than the Rasta at all.
Mm.
And Honduras is a better football playing team. Create more chances than Jamaica. So I think based off that, they should be having the biggest problems in coming in. We have to be honest and unbiased and look at it as the steps goes. Their squad is strong and they should look to qualify. At this point, Nicaragua would be qualifying ahead of them. I think that should not be the case. They should at least be the second because they're better than all of the other teams then. And to be honest, I don't even think Jamaica is truly better than them either. You know?
No, and I think that's a fair point, especially when you look at how that game, how they played Honduras. Jamaica played Honduras the last one.
Honduras
Excuse me. Yeah,
Honduras
and
and
Honduras,
yeah.
and they they effectively said you can have the ball, we'll defend, and we'll just counter, and they got the result at the end. But like you said, in terms of football playing, they certainly were a little bit better in terms of Honduras.
And
So,
remember, Blake was pretty much the man of the match,
mhm.
to be honest. So if your goalkeeper is the man of the match, that tells you that the next team is not a soft soap. And we played them 2 times in a row now. And both of those times we never look better than them. It's just the result that swing our way on the day. You know, so I would say that based off that, I would have to go with Honduras should be the team looking out to say that they should be in the top two to qualify. So they are under the most pressure for me.
And I'm kind of leaning towards that as well. I I will say, and some people can say maybe I'm hating on this. I think Honduras is under the most pressure, but Jamaica needs to be careful because you can't keep playing games like Costa Rica can get away with having a team where their best player is the goalkeeper because the goalkeeper was the best goalkeeper in the world, right? And this is no insult to Andre Blake in any way, but for the quality that they do have, it sometimes feels that they are playing in a way that doesn't suit their strengths. Asking attacking players to defend isn't their strength. Finding those defending players that, if you're going to play that type of style, by all means do so, and pick the right players to do so. Because if not, you're going to find yourself in a position where you have, excuse me, multiple attacking players on the pitch and you're asking them to defend. The next thing you know, a goal sneaks by you. If you're down 1-0, and now you're stretching the line. You're not really building up. Everything is long ball forward and going that way. So I'm not as not as worried with Jamaica, but I'm saying be careful because the Jamaica has, and let's actually go to those matchups here.
Nicaragua and Honduras as well.
Yeah.
They have Honduras again.
So two ball playing sides who are just going to move the ball and say, that's what we're going to do. So Nicaragua first for them. Now, Nicaragua may not have the same amount of, attacking prowess as, say,
yes, as Honduras.
Honduras,
I
but
think
they'll be the same style.
And they're at home as well. They're at home as well, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But I think they should be able to win. They should still go in as a slight favorites against Nicaragua, but I'm not going to say nothing is certain because, to be honest, watching this team and watching the way they do things, I just believe that they're just lucky 95% of the time, and it's not really aside from the Cuba game. Because I really like the way they played in the Cuba game. Actually, like that one. But I still thought that they were lucky because Blake should have gotten a red card and get sent off and give away a penalty. So they got lucky in almost every game. Even the games them that I'm talking about that we play good, it was still lucky. So I want to see a game that give me some confidence that we're passing the ball, we're not creating those big moments to cause problems on our own selves and stuff. So I am not certain about this Nicaragua game. I'm still saying that they should be the one winning it. That is true, but I have to wait and see. You know, it pushed me back in the wait and see based on what I saw them doing. You get me? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, excuse me there. And I think we're all waiting for that. Everyone can be of two minds with this, where with the Jamaican side, where you're saying you're waiting for that dominant performance, where, or at least you're looking for a performance where they look comfortably as the better side, right? I think the Cuba game was a good example of that.
Yeah, that was the best example, believe me.
Granted, with
Only
the right
game I'm
content, yeah.
smiling when I saw football. Maybe ever. No, not ever, but since I'm on YouTube and covering, it's maybe the only time I could say that I saw them trying something, like really trying something, like they want to pass the ball. Another team, maybe under parallel, we saw one game under parallel close to that, but that is definitely the best. I would agree as well.
I would maintain those 19 minutes against Ecuador were a lovely time for me at the Copa America. But I was like the best I'd seen them
Yeah,
play. But that's that's neither here nor there.
yeah, but the football playing was slightly better, but that's just me for Cuba. Maybe I'm just going over the top, and maybe Cuba should not be rated that highly according to most people, because surprising when I'm praising the team, they are downplaying the performance. So at this point, it's just anything I say, they say the opposite at this point, because they need to continue conversation. But it's okay. Yeah, but I would stick with my Honduras, and I think Honduras will surprised everybody in this window. Everybody in this window.
So with that being said, here are the matchups that we have coming through. First one's starting on Thursday of next week. Right, Honduras versus French Guyana. You'd assume Honduras gets that victory there. Cuba versus Trinidad Tobago. I said that earlier. Trinidad Tobago has been disappointing to me, so I expect Cuba to get the result there. But it's Trinidad and Tobago that they
Be-
might just decide this is the game that they play to their potential. And we're like, where was this the whole time?
You can't just say that before the game will pop up from somewhere and say, Africans, what are you talking about? Trinidad ain't winning nothing.
I am wrong sometimes.
Hey,
Some people might
okay.
say I'm wrong most times, and that's fine.
No, no, because every time I'm giving, I was surprised today. I gave Trinidad some credit, and I saw before the game turn up. So I'm saying, okay, nice. Yeah.
But yeah, so those games would be there, and then El Salvador versus St. Vincent the Grenadines. I think El Salvador should take that. Nicaragua versus Jamaica. On paper, it should be Jamaica, but it's the
On
style,
paper, have you
right?
seen the paper? Have you seen the recent paper? If we have to be careful of that on paper thing, because are we just saying Ethan Pinnock, Mikel Antonio, and Andre Blake will be carrying us over every game? Because
but
that's what we're doing sometimes, that's what we're doing a lot of times. That's what we're doing, to be honest, because on paper, no Liam Bailey is there, Damar Gray is there as well. Yeah, that's true. Casey Palmer is there as well. But
but what I would say then is this: it's you can say on paper in one sense, but if you look at the pitch, then this is where I say the worrying aspect of this. Will this be the game where they say we are going to dictate how this game is going to be played?
well, I'm
Ultimately,
waiting to see,
we have waited for them, and ultimately they did say they're going to dictate how the game's going to be played by deciding to sit back and defend versus Honduras. And to me, I think Nicaragua is a similar type of a ball playing side that if they're going to show that level of respect to Honduras, they will show some level of respect to Nicaragua. But then the question will come down to, do they have the players, or do they have the philosophy to be able to take advantage and really dictate how and open up this game to be more than just play the ball out wide and then hope that a speedy winger can create something for a nine,
well,
right?
that's how them picked, speedy wingers, to be honest,
Mhm.
So, because we have Mikel Antonio, and pretty much that's it. We have Mikel
Mhm.
Antonio, then we have Cephas that's only runs up and down. I don't see much other thing from him, But you have the apologists them that turns up and make it seems like everybody can just play football, But Cephas ain't it. I'm very sorry. He ain't it. Campbell is better than him, but I never said Campbell is it either. And Dixon ain't it either. So all three of them ain't it. And I'm very serious, because it looks like when you say certain words, it like people twist your words. But I never said they are good players. I just said they are better than each other. That's two different things. I am saying right there, but they're not the standard for the national team. I know when they score a goal, the fantasy goes for 6 more months because that's how it is. It's just it's a very tough situation. Africans, it's a very tough situation. You know, I have the Jamaica team as the scam team of the world. Like it's just a scam team. Like we have the best potential. We try our best to scam our way through the team. Like we just want to scam, so we just start scamming players in the team. That's all I feel at this point. It's not anything else otherwise. Yes. So that's the team itself. I will let you discuss what it's on it. I don't really want to discuss anything on that damn thing. I'm tired of these people.
Well, great. I will struggle through this with hiccups. This will be great. Enjoy the hicks here. But I mean, the squad to me is not very. It's not nothing new in terms of what you had seen from the last window, other than adding a Mason Holgate, um, and then Tavon Gray coming in with the squad as well. Up top, I mean, for me, I think it is a little bit. Excuse me, it is a little bit light up top outside of Antonio and Gray because I don't think I've seen enough in terms of consistent and production up top, which is where I think a lot of people, and we on our last video, people are saying, okay, looks like Greenwood's coming. When Greenwood comes, you add, excuse me, you add depth there, and then
You
that
add depth
maybe
to the team, yes, because
exactly.
if Bailey's out, you have Greenwood, so you can see the quality right there. You get me? Yeah. So I agree. I agree with you. Go ahead, big
But
dog.
yeah, but like overall, I think it's a little bit light up top, especially to yes, you only have 2 games, but you're really asking Antonio and Gray to really carry the load offensively because outside of really that, where's your production coming from?
And then Lightis is in midfield as well.
I have
Because
questions
remember,
about it.
Latibodier is not a midfielder; he's a defender. So they just put him there to make the numbers look enough. And then Tariq Maggi is a USL player.
Mhm. Well, at
So
this point, McGee is basically just a forward because
yeah,
he's
he's
real
also a forward as well. So
he's
yeah,
he's a
because he's
cam
not
by
gonna give
trade,
it.
but like he's more
Yeah,
of
he's not
the
gonna give you anything defensive. You understand
yeah.
me? So he's just a forward as well. So yeah, I think this is bit bollocks. All we do is just scam our way to places because we're gonna over reliant on Ethan Pinnock, Damian Lowe, Blake being the man of the match. It doesn't matter which game we're playing, and then Mikel Antonio up there struggling to fight with 4 defenders, and then a person tapping the ball, and then they're the greatest player. I kind of. Believe me, Africans, I honestly believe that I am coming to my end, talking about these things, Yes, man, I want to do some sensible things, man, because these things that I'm hearing is not really sensible to me. And I'm not wasting my time and sleep for these things. I'm honestly telling you. But these conversations overall is better because at least I get to look at other teams, what they're doing and them stuff there. But sitting down,
Mhm.
arguing with people, I have no time for that, man. Give the apologists them that job. Know yourself, big of yourself. Massive
Mhm.
respect. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and know yourself putting this comment up here. That funny thing is that Jamaica had a lot of U21 players that were better than Dixon, and Dixon not getting any senior minutes. Okay, League One, we have better players that we can recruit and choose from. Foolishness is always with the Jamaican team. I think you're always going to have those types of comments because you can always look as you build your depth. You're always going to have that conversation. And my question is always going to be, what is the coach doing? And I think it's early. We're 2 games in, but I am more curious to see what McLaren is trying to build here because again against Cuba, they played well, but then they were up a man, but they looked good there. And then against Honduras, they said we're just going to concede and try to win on the counter. I don't.
He told us what he's trying to build Africans. He said he's trying to build a local team. He's trying to build. That's what it surprised what he's saying because he's all over the place. Because he doesn't know what who people will be asking about. What people will be asking about. So I even at interview, I thought he never came even prepared. It was so surprised because someone asked him about Whisper, which I think it was a dumb, stupid question. It was a dog crap question, embarrassing question. But at the same time, he still never even know the player. He still actually never know the player. You get me? So even though it's a bad question, terrible question, I still believe that he should have come a little bit more equipped. He's pretty much just saying that, oh yeah, if we can't sit and rely on UK, we have to try and develop in Jamaica. Okay, well, go and tell the clubs that. Why are you telling the people that coming to watch the national team that? What it, and I don't even hear anybody sensible there asking him. So what that has to do with the national team? Because that's the first thing you should ask him. So what it has to do with national team? Should it not be the clubs? How much pressure you're putting on the clubs to actually develop their players for you to pick from them? Not you telling me that. Um, oh, this is what we need to do. How are we going to do it? Because or are they going to get good just magically? Oh, yes, it's true because they're magically good. So I actually believe you. Yeah, they're just good without not playing African. So maybe it's true. So you never may know.
Yep.
Maybe it's true.
Like,
They're magically good. So I don't know.
from the outside, though, from the outside, listening to it, it's way too early for me to say this, but I'm just like, is this man on vibes too? Because everything is just like we're just trying to build. I'm waiting for him to say. I'm literally just waiting for him to say we brought in these players for the camp to make sure so that the vibes are good and the. I'm waiting for him to say that at this point because it's
Afghans,
coming.
it's going to go there next time because we never expected it from Al Grimson and we heard about the vibes. So that's the next thing you're going to hear. Oh, the vibes, Damien will bring the vibes. So you see when two other guys play up, you're going to. Yeah, so we don't know. We don't know. I'm just hoping that we keep on scamming our ways to victories and over reliant on the main players them and keep on showcasing the other players them to sell. And I'm not going to stop saying that because that is the truth. Yes, and until Jamaica start becoming that, that's the only time we're going to truly become that team that we can go somewhere and beat United States and become a true title contender. But until that, I don't believe in this crap. I don't believe in this crap. But England team will be running. We have to develop our own because the fact that they come in a country, bro, you come from England and you come here telling people that they should develop their own. Oh, that makes sense. Which day on earth none of us will live to see the day that Jamaica has a better development program than England? And we have more people in the diaspora than who lives on the island. So by your educated mathematics, how in the world should I be looking out for Jamaica to have more talent than England for Jamaica? That just say that some of these people, as you talk Africans, they try to attack you. Who first? You're fighting against local player. No, no, no. You're dumb. That's the difference. You're just dumb. You're just having a white man coming to sell you a false narrative. That's it, and take your money like all of them did. So I'm yeah, let me just leave it alone, Africans. That's sad.
I'm saying from my perspective, with these hiccups, you are saving my breath right now. So
Yes,
I'll
yes,
let you go
yes.
again. So,
Yes, I'm
but
telling
I
you.
think I'll ask you this question in terms of Jamaica. Um, is it a disappointment for them if they don't make the quarterfinals, or
Um,
like is in terms of for where the quarterfinals or the semifinal? Excuse me, of Nations League. Is there if they make it to the quarter, say, and then they say they play Panama beats them, or they play US beats them, they play any of the top four teams, and they don't make it back to the quarterfinal, the semifinal. Excuse me, the
I
semifinal.
don't think we reach the level to beat any one of the top four teams. We are not at that level.
So
I'm
you
very
think
sorry.
quarters should be their
Yeah, man.
standard?
Anytime we go through, everybody's a Panama is going to still be a favorite over Jamaica. United States, Mexico, and Canada will be several favorites over them. Believe me, you can't do this fantasy thing can't work, man. Believe me, if you meet one of these teams back again, Africans, Canada learn their lesson. If you beat them, it's gonna be embarrassment. They are not stopping this time. They are just gonna continue try creating 500 chances. Mexico, the same thing. Mexico ain't playing with Jamaica, and United States ain't playing with nobody at all. because they need to stop that disrespect on their name. So I don't think we're going to anything further than the next round. If we make the next round as well, because we're not in the next round. We have to make the next round first. And Honduras, every time Honduras plays Jamaica, we don't seem like we're better than them. We seem like we're always on a one goal swing between them. So you never may know. Maybe it's their time for the one goal swing to be. Because remember, they are creating 5 chances, 5 more shots over us almost every time. Almost every time, They're having better position almost every time, or more control position, not better position, more control.
And I think for me, that's where we look at the Honduras matchups. That's where I'm worried because I'll ask you another question about the top 4. I haven't seen Jamaica look against the next tier of teams. They haven't looked a cut above them, and no one really has, in my opinion. No one's really emerged and says, "Okay, we are right." That's what happened. Say, and I always use Canada's example, right? But Canada became the best of the rest of the teams, right?
Yes,
And then
yes.
they stepped up, and it was like, okay, are they better than Panama? Looks like it. Or they beat Costa Rica twice. Okay. And then so it's like, okay, you saw that level of emerging. And that's to me for what excuse me.
I've never seen Jamaica play a team, United States team and look on par. I think the last time we played a United States team and actually look on par was more in the early 2010s. That's and I don't know if it was just a poor United States team. I don't know how to work that out. Comparative to the players that they have now. But since the last 6-7 years, we have never played a game with the United States and look like we're on par. It's always even look at life. Remember the Gold Cup that we just played them in. We draw 1-1. That Gold Cup game, they had second string players on it, and we still never look on par with them. They dominated that game just the same. It doesn't matter what their people, these fantasy people will be telling me. It's the same thing happened in the game. So we never look on par. We just play them. And they said if the whistle blew off early, we would have won the game. That would be one of the most unfair game to be given to somebody. Because all we tried to do in the game was defend. All we tried to do was defend. And you see us turn up and down on the wing. But you know what? The coach tell us that is our style of play. So we should just come and expect to run up and down on the wing. Just put a wild man to run up and down on the wing. Pretty much. That's it. So maybe that's our style. So that means, and if we continue and say that's our style, you know what? That's going to tell me. That means we're never going to dominate any game, because you can't just kick the ball away and then dominate games. Every other team will have a better position. So I can't really grasp what the coach saying. It's going to take me a while for me to truly dissect every single thing what he's trying to say with his action as well. But so far, it's a bunch of gibberish I heard him speaking. And
Okay. And so we talked about the quarters for Nations League for CONCACAF. And we talked about teams' expectations, who we think it is. Of the top 4 teams, though, for you, which to you feel is the most vulnerable? Like if you're one of these teams winning their groups, you're saying we want that side, right?
It has to be Panama. I think none of the other teams, every one of these teams, United States, Mexico, Canada, can beat anybody from 1 to 6. On the best day, they can score 6 goals on anybody, even including Canada as well. On their best day, they can score 6 goals on any one of the teams outside the top 4. Anyone. Because I saw them play United States, and they could have scored 6 goals against United States. I'm wondering what I'm watching. I'm wondering if this can't be Canada. It has to be a different team. It look like I'm watching Nigeria. Not Nigeria. Sorry, I use wrong. I want Netherlands.
Actually, Nigeria would have been apt. Nigeria would have been an apt comparison because they would have had 19 chances and none of them hits. Nigeria
you see this coming? Oh my God. I wanted to say Netherlands. That's your problem. You just want to fight Nigeria.
I don't want to fight them. Okay, I live in peace.
I
took my Advil. I'm good. There's no headache. I
wanted to say you guys were playing like Netherlands. That's what I wanted to say. But you're happy that it was Nigeria said because you want to attack it.
No. See, Nigeria has strikers who are in form. and Canada's
Mhm.
strikers are starting to find form. So
Okay.
there's a difference. That,
Okay. I was just saying, oh, I saw Netherlands play. That's how I saw United States playing. Canada playing United States and creating that amount of chances on them. So I think all of these top four teams, the top three should be securing their spots to the next round. That's what I think.
I'm going to say if there's a side that is the most, to me, if there's a side that is the most vulnerable, excuse me, it is it's Mexico.
Oh my God, you have to go for one of the most higher profile teams to come.
They, JD, based off of
So
their form,
who's gonna beat Mexico?
I'm
Surely
saying
Jamaica. So are you going to look at Guatemala then? One of those technical tiki-taka teams, or Costa Rica?
Honduras versus Mexico.
Or
We almost
Honduras
saw
could
it.
play
We
Mexico.
almost saw it.
Yeah. But that was just a one-off game. The next game was an embarrassment to Honduras.
Yeah, and 12
Costing
minutes of additional
95 million.
time, and then the
Oh
ref
my
still
God.
holding his
But
whistle.
they still had 95 million big chances. I can tell you that in one game they had more big chances than everybody else in the competition. He could have finished 15. All right. So oh
Here's the
my
problem, right? For me, it's this: Mexico haven't looked good. They look like they're plotting to get their big results, versus say having a big result and thinking, oh, they should have done better, right? The New Zealand game, right, is a prime example of that, where they're creating chances, but it feels like they are laboring to do so. Canada, I don't think you're beating them because they're on a revenge tour and they'll be fine. The United States is a wild card because it's a new coach. So, and I wanted to say the US, but they're the wild card. They could be a team that come quarterfinals, they have everything figured out and they just play with passion and they get it done. Or they could be a side that you say, oh, they look like they're still trying to figure out the system, and then a team clips them. Panama, you know what you're getting with Panama. And at the end of the day, you know what Panama's limitations are. So there's a degree where you look at that and say, okay, I know what you are. So nothing really is going to surprise me. But in terms of a team that could underperform right now, yes, they have the pedigree. Yes, they have the name. But you tell me right now, Mexico is on form, probably the second best team playing in CONCACAF. But that's nothing to write home about. They are of the top four. I feel because it's that same, that same coach. I feel like they are going to stay at that level where they'll look suspect for like 20 minutes. And if you can punish them in those 20 minutes, maybe then you defend for the next 30, 500 minutes, plus, the additional time, plus when the ref loses his whistle. And then,
yeah, but if you're good, you would not be calling for the whistle. You understand me? If you're good, you see the game out and beat
hey,
them. You know?
yeah, it's true. And when the side judge says 7 minutes, and then you look at your clock, it says 15, and you're like, what? Are we just gonna wait for them to score? And then Edson Alvarez scores a goal, and then the ref's like, okay, that's time. Let's go to penalty. Yeah, at that point I'll have
All right.
yeah.
All right, people. Clearly, Africans is 18 is on, on Mexico this time.
I'm
It's
not
not the
hating on
United
them.
States. United States prove him wrong so much time. He can't say because this is the best time to pick United States. No, they
They,
just
but
have a new
but that's the thing. They are the wild card. They you could say, oh, they can come out and make it, but then they can also just lay an egg and then say, oh, well, they're learning the system. I think the US is definitely gettable right now, but in terms of both sides, I think right now, I I hate that I'm saying this. I trust the talent of the US right now more, and their form over, say, Mexico's right now. Mexico is still good. Excuse me, they're still good, but I trust their form more, which is ridiculous for me to actually say, because we just watched the US be uninterested in 2 games and
Thank
basically
you.
got slept walk by.
Okay.
But it's a
And
new coach
also
now.
add you should add the Copa as well in it. when Mexico was pretty much the best team in all of the games that they played in the Copa. Very unfortunate that they never made it out. But for
Yeah.
some reason, Mexico maybe created the most opportunity, most chances in the entire tournament with all of the big teams. Them. But yes, they never. Santiago Jimenez is just not a Mexican.
I would even. Hey, Raul Jimenez, my Wolves man, and now at Fulham. The man is
Yeah,
still in good form.
they have to pick him at this point because the man is scoring at a higher level. So just pick the man and put him back in. You know,
Mhm.
yes, at this point that's how it goes. All right.
But speaking of that and players, that to me is my player who I think for CONCACAF has the most pressure on them. You've had opportunities, bare but opportunities. Santi, Jimenez, you need to produce here, right?
But
You're
he
playing,
just had a big injury, right? I swear
yeah,
he just
and
had a big
so he
injury.
gone. So can the man who was the best nine in CONCACAF, who arguably was the best player in CONCACAF until his injury, he steps back into that pitch. And what is he like? He's 17 goals away from second for the most goals in CONCACAF in the Premier League. I think Antonio's in second now with 67, and he has 50 right now. I think he'll be fine. I think they will be fine, but I think this coach is the the other reason why I worry about Mexico is based off what we've seen. They haven't fully embraced that youth movement transition yet. I think that is a little bit because there's some youth players that are starting to emerge in the Mexican league and such. Like old friend of the show, Marcelo Flores, Diego Lainez is there, and there are players that you look and say, okay, they could produce, they could do something, but it doesn't seem like the coach is giving them any trust, and that's like part of the whole issue with Santi Jimenez as well. When are they actually getting those opportunities? So for me, I think Mexico, I'm saying they're the most vulnerable because they are of the four teams. They are the team that's holding on to a generation a bit too long, and they're trying to play the hits. They to me look the most like Canada did the last cycle, where they say let's run back the hits of 2021, and then Victoria can't move as much. Milan doesn't have the lateral quicks as much. You're playing Mark Anthony Kay in the midfield, and you don't have as much, and then you're just like, okay. And then for 19 minutes, the game turns. And I think Mexico, it looks like that side to me.
JD's dog, I never meant it like he was not a born Mexican. I never meant it that way. I'm just saying that he does not have the fight and the bully into the back of the net like Henry Martin. If Henry Martin got half of those chances, he's scoring all of those goals. And I think that
Yeah, young Henry
Jimenez
Martin.
is playing, Jimenez is playing at a higher level. So I expected more from him because I really wanted the kid to kick on. He's doing very, very well in Europe. That is true, but I wanted him to do a slight better for Mexico. But yeah, it has not worked out for him. That's all I said. I never meant it like, oh, he's not born. No, no, no. I never. You know me. I am the person advocate for people to play anywhere they're from. You know. Yeah, but I agree with Africans on that side that Mexico might be overplaying their hands and everything, but it is what it is. I am going to stick with uh, Panama being the more vulnerable one. And you go for Mexico. It's okay.
Mhm. But again, I think we're not mentioning Canada, so knowing my luck, Canada will not play for 20 minutes and they'll lose to someone. And
Yeah, Canada, I think they have officially moved themselves out of even people thinking that they are going to be more frail and stuff are shut off at any point. I think what my boy bring to the team, it's just more relentless behavior. They're gonna the CONCACAF teams will be exposed under that pressure because they're not stopping with running. They're just in your face, in your face. You have to learn to pass the football. They put extra pressure on you. The CONCACAF teams never liked that because they were never ever the most technical teams.
yeah,
You know, or with the most quality team. So I think Canada took himself out of that bottom four conversation. But Canada is definitely above Panama at this point, Yeah. So what you do you know, Noah? Or are you going over the one or which one?
Oh, my title says CAF and CONCACAF. So
Yes. Okay.
we must talk about
Okay.
Africa, and I must lament how Ghana has nowhere. Oh, we just found a stadium. Ghana just found a stadium. Okay,
Okay.
we can play in
I
Ghana
never
again.
know that you had that because we were talking CONCACAF. I thought that you were going to say, all right, then we're going to put the CAF tomorrow, because maybe the CAF got drawn out. More information will be coming out, but no,
Uh,
information ain't coming out for CAF tomorrow.
Listen,
So, yeah.
everyone's rosters are dropping. I always like to shout. What's the one of my new favorite follows on X or no, I refuse on Twitter. I'm not calling it X. Okay, I'm doing the thing. But one of my favorite follows is the da, 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 the international window. They drop every roster to let you know who the new players are. Excuse me, who the players are for every team that's doing something in that window. Highly recommend you guys giving them a follow as well because they are fun. But as well as Nations League and CONCACAF, we have AFCON qualifiers, games 3 and 4, match stage 3 and 4 for that. And there was a lot of pressure on teams. There's a lot of pressure on players. I'm going to say this right off the bat. I already know who my players are and which team have the most pressure on them because I want to be the Africans if I didn't cover both. It's Ghana for me. Ghana has to qualify. Even if they qualify to get grouped at AFCON again, they need to. But let's go back to where we left off with the groups. You have Tunisia in Group A up at 6 points. They look like they'll be flowing into the AFCON later this year with Comoros, Gambia, and Madagascar. Group B, Morocco, Gabon, Central African Republic, and then Lesotho.
Nigeria.
Group 3, Egypt, Cape Verde, Mauritania, and Botswana. 6-3-3-0. And then Group 4, Group D, Nigeria, Benin, Rwanda, and Libya. Rwanda, my don't sleep on team. I've fallen asleep on Cape Verde, so Rwanda, save me. And then Group B, Algeria. Looks like they're going to be heading up as well. Excuse me. And then Group F, Angola, Sudan, Ghana, Niger. Ghana and Sudan play each other this window twice, so that will really dictate who gets out of that group. And we'll talk about them in a minute. The champions, reigning champs, Ivory Coast, up with 6, Zambia, Sierra Leone, and Chad, 3-1. Group H, Democratic Republic of Congo with 6, Tanzania with 4, Ethiopia and Guinea with 1-0 respectively. Group I, Mozambique, Mali, Guinea-Bissau, and Eswatini. Guinea-Bissau, please get your act together soon. Excuse me. Group J, Kenya, Cameroon, Zimbabwe, and Namibia. Kenya, hello. Uganda, South Africa, Congo, and South Sudan. And then Burkina Faso, Senegal, Burundi, and Malawi. JD, Billy,
Yeah.
artist soon to be known as someone else.
I just got an update. Osimhen will be out.
Oh no. What will the country with 99 million strikers do? Go to the next one.
Okay, don't worry yourself. These are the things that let you feel good in your soul. You need somebody to be losing like Ghana.
Like we're going like this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's okay.
Even
It's
throwing
okay.
bigs. You heard somebody got injured, and what would the next man up? Osimhen is one of the best strikers in the world. They have other strikers, that is true. But you get or you know what if Kudo's injured? I don't know who is gonna create. Ianaki will be running up and down for just running up and down sake because he just runs up and down.
That's what he does anyways. They don't pass him the ball. So what? He get his cardio. They don't pass him the ball. He has to go out wide.
Bless up, okay. Kevin. Bless up.
Hi, Kevin. you're seeing me unhinged now. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because I
Caduce,
reported a
I
bad
need
news, and this brother. That's why the people say don't like Nigeria.
the
But
Dutch. I don't like the Dutch. They took
no,
Memphis from us. They took Memphis to buy from us. You know? Okay. You know who else they took from us? That is actually something I wanted to talk about, but I forgot about to add to the list. But
Well,
we'll
let
get
me
to
see.
that,
Let me
Kevin.
wrap it up in 15. We have 15 minutes left, Africans, because I just got a message. At
Okay.
least I have 15 minutes. Maybe if you want to do the extra. But I have to run out. It's 11:12 now. So I have little time, I don't want to get beat up. And then Africans will be laughing after me when I'm injured.
No. I only laugh about Breeze on
oh
FC 25. Okay, I only laugh about Breeze. Okay, weather.
I can't believe Africans pulling up these stunts on me. I can't believe.
Well, I sat through there. I was like, this man's really doing this, eh? We're really doing this.
Yeah, but Africans, they never believed me that you have breeze in it and all them
Oh,
foolishness.
I believe he is.
No, they never believed me. They thought I was excusing because true, I get six love. It's some, yeah, but you know what? Let me leave the breeze alone. Let me stay on topic. Oh, God, I can't believe it.
Excuse me. This is going to be a vibe. So question: when it comes to the teams here, so Nigeria doesn't have Osimhen, but there of all the teams that are there, speak of the person. Yes, Breeze man. Yes, Breeze man. Yes. Okay. If I have to endure 2 years of a good turn, Jason, I am going. You guys are going to endure this Breeze, okay? And my hiccups, okay? I said what I said, but of the African sides, I mean, there's a lot of teams that we look at and we say, okay, this team is underperforming, right? We said before, we expected more from Gambia. They're not out of it, but we thought they could have at least pulled at least more than just one draw, right? And that's
Boniface
fine.
will do the job.
And that's my thing with Nigeria. You don't have Osimhen, that's fine. You still have Bonnie. You have
Africans. When have you seen Boniface doing any job for Nigeria? Please, can you correct me, please? When have you seen? You guys need to put some respect on Osimhen's name. You need to stop over Boniface.
Look. You know what? Fine. I'm gonna sink down to what everyone thinks of me. I'm just gonna hate on Nigeria for no reason.
Yeah, I
Listen,
think this
okay?
is the time that they should
You
be
know what I've
eating. That
seen? I've
Boniface.
seen Boniface make a pass. I haven't seen Osimhen pass anything soon. Okay?
Jesus God.
That's my
But
guard to the level.
did you not see the man created so much assists?
Yes, he did.
Oh my God.
No, all joking aside. Yes.
The disrespect. Why am I the only one walking around the world trying to support Osimhen over Boniface? Oh, all right.
Look,
you know what?
Listen, JD. You know how I feel about Osimhen. I think he's the best African 9 in the world, hands down. Period. I do think, in terms of, I think he's the best 9 there. I think there are other 9s who are pushing on it now, right? Our Guinea man who went to Borussia Dortmund, who was 28 goals in 28 games. Excuse me.
Oh yeah. That Giuseppe, whatever.
Yeah,
he's a one goaler man, but I still think Osimhen better than all of these dudes. Osimhen has something about him, brother. The man have an aura about him. You have to just say, oh my God. The only person brings that is Erling Haaland playing Arsenal in a rainy night. Sliding on his knees, bust one through the back of Arsenal net, Yes.
Yes, and I think ultimately Osimhen is the 9. Osimhen is the most I think is the most comparable to what Haaland does in terms of he can do everything there. He can play off, he can run off. He's big enough.
A miles bit better than El Naziri. El Naziri is good, but he ain't as mobile as Osimhen. Osimhen ain't normal. Osimhen is a kangaroo and a cheetah at the same time with who kick the ball well? Which animal kick the ball? I don't even know. I need a third animal.
No, at this point, JD, if you use the wrong animal, JD, or the wrong thing, then you'll lose your Nigerian friends. What do you think happened at Napoli? Okay, don't be making no.
Sorry. Okay. I give him two super animal. Yes, that's my boy, man. Big bad.
But
Us, you know.
my point is, no, he's working on 18 other sermons. We don't need him right now. But the point with Osimhen is he is a player, and the point with Nigeria is they have enough depth. Yes, Osimhen is their best nine hands down. But you can't tell me that the on the bench they have more quality than some teams wish they had.
Yes. You have Ian Nacho that can come on. You have Sammy that could have come in. But to be honest, the only player that I like after they never really called him that much. But Paul, you have a striker named Paul. I thought that his link up plays with Lookman and Ian Nacho. Yeah, any one of the two plays with him, I think he does a better job than Boniface. I actually think he does a better job than Boniface because you can just put the ball to him. Boniface is big, but he's not a back to the wall striker. Yeah, do you guys ever realize that?
No,
He
he's a
wants to
front
run
facing.
past people.
Yeah, and it's almost as if, and sometimes you make that mistake with some players where you think, okay, he's this size, so he must be a back to
target
the
striker,
exact yeah. But he'll want to go by you.
But that's a problem because all of the wingers them want to go by people. And when you take a stop, you have Lookman and Boniface in the same spot.
And he's saying, brother, let's get out my damn way.
And
You know, the guy,
Chikwuezi's like, hello, like,
I
can I,
have
may I
nobody.
play?
I have a double team over here because these two dudes running each other and then nobody taking out defenders. So
And then
that's why they can't
Ndidi's
win
like, I am
games.
actually the 10, so could you just move? I am the 10.
So
Move.
I don't think people see Boniface plays for Nigeria. It works for his team because they worked on him to get the advantage. But Nigeria, you need to just fix a damn style of play, bro. You're a big stone.
which is
Just
why I think when he plays for Nigeria, when they put him out wide, he's the of their nines, he's the one who's best suited for that because he'll try to take someone out and he'll
But
be
you
able to
can't
create
take off
more there.
Lookman. Lookman wants to play over the left hand side.
I
But
agree.
Boniface better than Lookman better than Boniface. So he's going to be playing over there. So it's either don't start or you start. So talk about that in Africans. Oh, it's gonna work then. So Lookman has Boniface has to start then, pretty much.
I would start Boniface up top. I'd go like a 4-3-3 and go Lookman and then Chikwuezi and put in
Just
Didi.
try that.
I'm
They
doing
got
it again.
killed.
I don't look. You know what Nigeria's biggest problem is, other than 99 million strikers?
Yeah.
A coach that lasts longer than the announcements. Okay, that's what their biggest problem is right now. Can they find a coach that lasts longer than the announcements? Because if they can do that, they will be unstoppable. You know, their biggest villain, their PR team. That's who their biggest villain is. They've been beaten by their PR team more than on the pitch. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Well, people, I am not capping any pleas. I'm just telling that Osimhen is out, and the last time I saw Nigeria trying to rely on Boniface, some average ass teams make Nigeria looks very average with a bunch of big names on it. You know, as what Africans always talked about, the bunch of big names. But you need the talismanic figure to unlock the rest. I don't care what other people says, but it's going to be proven. It's going to be proven that the big us is the boss.
No one is doubting. I'm not telling you that he's not, but I'm saying if there's a team that can go on with losing the best African nine in the world, it's a team with 17 billion other nines that they don't know what to do with.
Yeah. As you talk, you know what we should do?
Just play Lookman as a striker. Why we don't just play Lookman and Boniface as the two strikers and stop with this 4-3-3 crap? Just place him 4-4-2 and use the two strikers.
No, so you want to play a 2-4-4 then?
Boniface up there with Lookman, that's the only way it's gonna work because that man don't want to play striker.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna say. But it's okay.
That's
my take there.
And I think it's fair.
Give me some throw the questions.
Because
we will.
I don't want to get a fly kick. Yeah.
DJ Geek says I've been seeing a lot of YouTube titles saying that Kudus and the West Ham coach got issues. I didn't watch any of the videos. I think the issue with it is, and I'll say it this way, because it might ring similar to another player who, and I'm not, I hate that I'm doing this, but I still rate Kudus better than this other player who shall remain nameless, but it's sounding similar to where the coach was like, hey, I need someone who can fit the system that I'm trying to play. And Kudus is a creative player. Excuse me, he is a creative player. The problem, though, is his creativity isn't within the system that the coach is trying to play. It's usually out of it. So you have moments where he'll take the ball and instead of making the right pass, which is maybe crossing it in or looking somewhere else, he then tries to go on his own, tries to go by three players, and then tries to put a shot on frame while you have an Antonio or a Bowen who's running through trying to find opportunities, or Alvarez who's coming in late. And so when they sub him off, it becomes a conversation of, well, why are they playing this player over this player? And then it becomes, is he a good player or not? Now, if you looked at him at Ajax, before he moved over, he was a player who thrived in a transition, which is still something that he is good in. But he's a player who makes up his mind early what he's going to do and then goes in. He's a 10 by definition, but to me, he's just he's another striker who plays out wide. He's a wing forward to me at its truest position. Can he play cam? Yes, because that's where he's played. But if you look at how he plays, he is a 9. He's a false 9. He is Gabriel Jesus playing there. So to me, the problem is finding a system either A that suits him or him having to tailor his game to play fuller out. Now, there are other players, which we've heard this conversation with. Some people may call them utility players. And to me, or I'm sorry, luxury players. Utility is more than that. Yeah, luxury players. And to me, it's a similar conversation. The difference is I rate Kudus more because I feel Kudus has performed at bigger stages more consistently. This year, West Ham has not been able to perform well, but I think it's more of a combination of new coach, new system versus players who had a good end of season who are trying to continue that, and the coach is saying, no, you did that last year, but this is what I'm asking you to do now. And so that becomes a problem. Now, when you translate over that to Ghana, I mean, I always have this conversation with my brothers. Ghanaian players, they look great when their options are simplified. If you give a player a shot or a cross and he has two options, head it or volley, they look amazing. When you give the player the ball at the edge of the corner of the box and it's like, okay, you have to beat the player one-on-one, at that point, just go get a drink, get your snack, because you'll come back and you'll see the ball being cleared. That's just the reality of it. Not to say that they aren't talented, but I find their wing players are all trying to be the hero. They all try to play that hero ball style versus saying, hey, we have a good 9 who plays in the Spanish league. Let's feed him the ball. Or you have a good winger player who's doing well at Bournemouth. Why don't we play? No, we're not going to do that. You need to score too? Okay. Well, we tried. I'm going to keep running, and maybe one day they'll feed me the ball. And Kudus falls into that overall. When you're playing your best distributor, the best passer of the ball is Jordan Ayew. Okay? And if you're playing Jordan Ayew and he wants to be a 9, he doesn't want to go out wide and sending crosses. He wants to be a 9. So there's no real distribution. There's no real creativity other than give me the ball. They look like the Suns in NBA, right? Okay, Devin Booker will have his chance. KD will have his chance. Bradley Beal will have his chance, and then that's what it is.
Okay, the superstar African team. Kevin says, JD, do you think Osimhen will make start on an 11?
Yes.
Kevin, of course. People, the mercurial talent or whatever the word is. This foolishness that people talking. You know what? I'm going to have to leave it alone. You know, the disrespect of this man's name. I'm very, very surprised that you guys behave like this. You know.
Oh, best ever.
Oh, the best ever.
Oh, no.
You see the straight.
No, the best ever, no.
You know, I think they set up people like this. He knows what he wanted to ask from day one, you know.
I'm gonna get clipped. Someone's gonna. I'm just gonna be a video of me out there being like, "I think Osimhen is the best 9 ever," and then it'll be like, "Oh, the world? Oh, no. I
Yes.
I recant. No.
I
Younger,
want to
better
take
now."
I want to take a strong break off YouTube. I think maybe this is a good period for me to take it, you know, because people set me up always, you know, man.
And the fact that the man let me answer the question, and then he said no. Man,
He apologized. At least the man apologized, Jay. At least he
my
apologized.
God. These guys are breaking me. They're breaking my soul, man. Oh my God, I can't bother anymore. Sherman's got bless himself. All right, yes, we understand. We understand that you're one Jamaican Dan.
Yes.
All right. I don't know why you don't know that all the Jamaican Dans them died. You know, you have a lot of new ones them here now, but all of the old ones them died. So I don't know why you keep on portraying a big Dan on YouTube. You know, you might get a little few shots.
But watching what Sam Kudus is the best ball protector on the team, so I don't know why the coach be putting Bowen in at 9 if he doesn't play Antonio, because he looks at him as more of a 10. If you're a 10 and the 10 role is already there with Paqueta, so then the best place to put him is out wide. And at least there, the game is simplified for him. He only has to go there. I think he's better off. He's better suited in that. If you're going to play him, like Kudus would be better suited in like that 4-2-2 role where he's the second striker, playing off of a player like either Antoine Semenyo or a player like Iñaki Williams. That's the thing. That's the other thing with Ghana. This notion that you have to play Jordan Ayew at the 9 is the worst because everyone on that team wants to run, and Jordan is not there, right? Jordan, to use a CONCACAF idea, Jordan Ayew is like Kyle Larin for Canada, right? He can score. He's a big target 9, but they are playing pressure. They're playing press. They're playing run. And when you have Schaffelberg, Davies, Larea, Adekubi, Kone, David, and then Kyle Larin, like stylistically, he just doesn't fit what they're trying to do. And so to me, I think that's where it is. But I think that's where it becomes the conversation as is. So I think he could play at the 9, but I don't think that'll come until maybe they have enough injuries or they have to. And that'll be it. But in terms of my team and my player that I'm looking at with the most pressure, it is those 2 players. It is Kudus for Ghana, and it is Ghana. They need to make this because when they don't make this,
and it's not because I have reached my time, you know. It is because it's the truth. I am going to agree with Ghana and Kudus that they need to deliver. All right. I know that Nigeria need to deliver as well, you know. But I still believe that Nigeria looks a little bit better than Ghana. Two of them look bad, terrible.
A little bit better?
Yes.
A little bit better. A little bit?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
Yes, they look a little bit better. A little
JD,
bit
what does
better.
a win feel like? I haven't experienced it yet. What does a win
I
feel
know,
like?
but some of them is just pure bad luck. That you never got the win or got a draw. You know, because I saw you leading 2-0, and I am wiping my eyeballs out. And 2 minutes passed, and I saw 3-2.
Yep, it's Ghana. It's Ghana. It's not even a conversation. It's Ghana. Like
Ghana is the only team. You can't, all if it's 90 plus 1 minute, you have to be checking how much extra time. Because if you have 2 more minutes.
Do you know how much I've suffered through with this team? Where it's the 92nd minute and you're up 2-0. You're like, oh well, we're good. We're good.
You're good.
And then you let Mozambique score 2 goals against you, and a goalie who touches the ball and pretends like he don't. I've never been more upset. Okay, I have never been more upset.
Yeah, that
Just
was an embarrassment, you know. Oh my God. What?
and blame your defenders, Richard Ofori. Blame. I've never been upset like that. I laughed. Like you know when you can't even be upset anymore, you just laugh. That was me that day. I was like,
No, I heard you
frustrated.
because you sent me a text and I'm saying, what upon now? Let me go and check if Ghana lose because I just saw Ghana winning the game and I'm saying I'm gonna about I was about to text him that DJ Gigs and saying, oh, good win, finally get a win. And I just heard Africans texting me a bad text. I'm saying, no, that can't be possible because I just left the match and said I'm gonna write up something with 5 minutes.
You know the best part about that is, Jade? The best part is because they bottled that game.
Mhm.
You know who made it as a third place tiebreak? Ivory Coast. And then they go on and win the. Look
They
at
went on
how
and win
friendly we are.
everything.
We give freely. I can't.
Yes, you
Can't.
gave them a chance. Yes, you gave them a chance. I thought
Yes.
you were going to say you gave them the whole AFCON, you know.
Oh, we would have been destroyed by Senegal. Sadio would have walked through our defense at that point. But which is more no.
I would say for some reason I still think Ghana play better football than Jamaica, you know. Like I saw Kudos playing football, Inaki running up and down. You don't have those players in Jamaica. Jamaica just don't have those players. So I would still say Ghana is slightly better than Jamaica. As bad as they are, they're still better than Jamaica. But Jamaica still win games. And Africans want to win.
I am still waiting.
So I don't know what
a
to say.
win.
Ghana still play better than Jamaica, but Jamaica get wins. So I don't know what to tell you. You know, so
And
Africans might just take the wins them. But if you put Jamaica in Africa, I don't think we'd have win much games either. Too. We have to be honest to ourselves. Because those it would have been I saw a man struggling to to fit in the games because Africa has the same problem as CONCACAF, guys. They have a lot of players coming in from England and all places, So they have to acclimatize to the same condition, And believe me, if you say CONCACAF man wild, all right,
hey,
I saw some tackles.
you
Remember, guys, it's lion and tigers, these referee coaches. Because Jesus Christ.
I've seen two JD. I've seen 2 feet. I've seen
Two-
2 feet
two
with a
high
brace, and the reps talked to him. Studs were up. Studs were reaching for the heavens. He was going for his
This is
chest,
ma-
and the ref said, "Hey, let's calm down."
People in the chat telling me, JD, this is how Africa ref the games. That's all. Okay, so we have people dying a lot, right?
And shockingly, no major injuries somehow.
Yeah,
Somehow.
these guys have a different level of strength. So believe me, guys. We remember DJ Gigs. We had seen Jamaica go and try to take on Morocco, and then a second string Morocco and a second string Cameroon at the same time,
Yeah, they play Ghana back then.
and they drew with Cameroon. Yeah, but the pace that these guys play at, I honestly believe that the only human beings on earth can run like a tiger or a lion. It has to be the same people as them in Africa. These guys are moving so fast. So don't doubt them. I don't think we will have translated well going to Africa one bit. We would have been getting defeated just like Ghana and Nigeria.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
One day
But-
we'll do our top 23. Yeah,
Yes,
or at
we
least
need-
our. I'd say our top 23 combined of players we have seen, because the problem with Africa is, look, I can tell you, my parents will tell me, the best African player that they've ever seen, Abedi Pele. I was barely alive for that. I saw the end of Abedi Pele. Okay, someone will say George Weah. Someone will say Roger Mila, and then they'll just say he just paid his way onto the team. So if we go that will be the best that we've ever seen. and I think Ghana would slap up. But I was referring to what you said about the team lead by 2, then check. Listen, Ghana's never met a lead they didn't want to give back to you. Okay, Ghana gets a lead and they feel like it's like they need to give it back for tax purposes. Like we're giving you this donation, we can't accept this gift of a lead. We must give it back to you.
But DJ Gigs, to be honest, DJ Gigs, I every game Jamaica plays, it's the same behavior, like we're hanging on and Blake trying to die. His legs are broken and all of those stuff. Remember, we just saw Honduras. Blake injured for 5 minutes and it was a 5-minute extra time. So we played Dominica and Wade was injured. Wade pretty much run out of the goal and the guy cut him out of the goal. So it's too comical football team. It's just because CONCACAF is terrible. so we can be terrible and still win games.
Look, you know exactly when. See, the thing is, like, the one thing with Africa is the gamesmanship. Once a team gets a lead, like they will. If a team gets a lead to you in the 11th minute, they are dropping.
Coming back. Yes,
they are dropping.
You should not be coming back. A lot of other things. Bless up, Lansy Blake. You came in late in Lansy. I have come to the end. I have come to the end. I don't know if Africans will finish. I think Africans might continue, but we have touched all. We brought down everything Africans, man.
Yeah, we have. I think we both agreed on who it is that we had most pressure for Africa.
It was easy.
We talked about CONCACAF sides and that. So I'd say go check back that in, look it through. Hopefully, the next time we're here, I'm not suffering through hiccups.
Yes.
The rewatch is going to be interesting.
And me not getting a threat on my phone, Yes.
Listen.
I'm getting a big kick.
Listen, okay. FC25's time will come. You'll make somebody great at some point.
No, I am not. That can't happen today. Tomorrow, I am already tired, This is my third stream,
I know. I was saying, like, how's this man going to do it? But you remember, you have to do that before our stream. So I have content for me to talk about.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. I believe me, I've been avoiding it, so that I'm not so confident that I'm going to win a game. But someone said I should just simulate the game, but they said I'm going to lose anyway. So my question is, if I'm going to lose if I simulate it, that means it was not me, Africans, doing the wrong thing. It's just my team not good. So then, when I play the game and lose, they are still disrespecting me.
Because if your name is Billy D, Billy Diamond, Billy D Williams, J, IMAX,
but that's a fair question. No, if
super fan Belgium #2, whatever your name is, the second that those controllers get to your hands, we expect the magic to begin.
Okay, all right. So people, we're gonna bring back Jamaica great again. I might do some adjustments. You know what I'm gonna do, Africans? I'm gonna remake the game and put you in the championship. That's a little bit better, so we don't have to play these big teams.
League One. Start with League. No. You be realistic. Start in
No, we can't have Leon Bailey and those guys down in League One. Damari Gray.
Do it.
No, but they are going to see that I'm eating and I'm trying to find ways to win. I have to pick something that is competitive. So the championship, I will lose some.
Then put them in MLS, okay? See how they do in MLS then.
Yeah, MLS. I think I can win some games in MLS. I will still lose because some of the MLS teams are not bad. I saw Rouse them in MLS, so that team will boss up my team.
I will not be making Canada great on FC25. I am not a gamer. I am not.
Well, it is what it is. People have to have a love, with the stress that Jamaica brings, I need something else to do.
Hey.
And playing some game, it might be the best reality, Yeah. So,
but by next week, we'll probably be able to talk about at least a game for everyone who would have played something. So we'll have that to talk about with both sides. You'll hear me talking about how Ghana couldn't beat their former coach, or you'll hear me say that this is what a win feels like. That'll be the intro.
And if anything, we can do some short videos. If the game plays and you have time, we just do some short videos. All right, so people look out for those. I am
signing off now. As what African said, I do have a series called Making Jamaica Great Again. But I've kind of gotten depressed today. So I will take a little break, you know. It's not I'm running away from not winning a game, but I will see if I can turn up tomorrow. I need City to win a game. I need other teams to win a game, you know, and let me get my motivation back because this coach really messed up my events, you know. Yes,
Well,
I am done, you
Billy,
know.
I hope that motivation, that pride you have for it, is able to blow you back in to position to feel that well. You know, I hope the winds of change take you in the direction of that victory that you need. And then with that, guys, we'll sign off because I won't survive alone with these hiccups, guys. Thank you for being here. Until next time, we'll say bye-bye for now. As DJ Gig says, you can do it, Billy. You can do it.
I
And
am
we'll say
disappearing, man. Don't worry. So I'm leaving. All right. Africans, bye
bye-bye.
bye.